Entrepreneurship. That's a big word, and many people don't know what it truly means. They may think they know what they mean, but they're wrong. So, in today's episode, I'm going to give you 5 principles that every successful entrepreneur has to follow, or else they will fail. And you know what I think about failure? It is bad, and winning is good. So, let's get into the episode. Hit it, James.
Brad Johnson Show. 3, 2, 1, ignition, blast off. Welcome to the Brad Johnson Show.
I'm Brad Johnson, and I'm turning losers like you into winners like me.
The Brad Johnson Show with your host, Brad Johnson.
Get ready to start winning.
And now your host, Brad Johnson.
All right, welcome to the Brad Johnson Show, where I turn losers like you into winners like me. All right, James, we are still on the road. Kyler, our Uber chauffeur, is taking us back home from the conference. It was an amazing conference.
Yeah, Brad, it really was. It was definitely one of the best conferences I've been to, because we were there, obviously. Definitely, yeah. It really, yeah, it was a great experience. Met some decent people. I wouldn't say great, but yeah, there were some good connections there. At least one good speaker. So yeah, it was definitely worth the time.
And that speaker was me. Right? Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, as far as, the people that we met, when you go to a conference, you don't really expect much because people are just disappointing, generally speaking. So when you go to a conference, it's not about going and making connections or anything like that. It's going and seeing if you can find new customers. So I think we did. I think we signed some people up for the course. Several people had my VAs on that because I was busy doing other things, so what entrepreneurs do. So it's what I was doing because I'm an entrepreneur. So it was a great conference. It was all about unplugging. They tried to take my cell phone. There's a bit of a row about that, but I won because that's what I do. I win. So got to keep the phone. There wasn't really any cell service or Wi-Fi, so there wasn't a whole lot to do with the phone, but I had it and I won, and that was really what mattered. So connecting with nature back in that mastermind is still a little dramatic, a little stressful there to connect to nature, in my opinion. But that's why we're headed back to home with my automated home, my giant automated home that has all this stuff automated. So, and technology everywhere. That's just that's what you got to do. All right, so. It was a good conference. I hope that the tips that we gave you on the way up really helped you in your next conference. You obviously weren't at this conference because it was for, very high-end entrepreneurs, which you're not if you're listening to this podcast, because that's what I'm helping you become. Hopefully, like I said, sometimes there's not a lot of hope, but my goal is to make sure that we use any hope that is there to get you where you can go. All right, so today we're talking 5 principles of entrepreneurship. Something that people don't realize, James, is that the root word of entrepreneurship is actually ship. And most people don't realize that. And what that has to do with this is that you don't just be an entrepreneur. This is not just something that you are. You're on a ship, and there's sails, and they're full of wind and pushing you forward and rocking your boat and rocking your world. That's what entrepreneurship is all about.
And you rocking the world too.
Yep, exactly. The world rocked by your rockfulness. It's an amazing thing. So we're gonna get into these, but first it's time for a word from our sponsor. Hey James, what are you doing there? Looks like you don't have a website.
Oh boy, Brad, I was just browsing the interweb and realized that I don't have an online presence of any way, shape, or form.
That's sad and pathetic. I can help you fix that though.
Really? How is that?
with my new product. It's called Rectangle Gap. It's the new way that entrepreneurs make new websites and get an online presence so you don't get left behind when Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all those social mediums go out of business.
Wow, that sounds like something a winner would do.
Exactly. And that's why I created it, because that's what a winner would do. And that's what I did, because I'm a winner.
So how does it work?
It works amazingly.
Wow.
I know, right? All you have to do is sign up at rectanglegap.com. And once you put in your mailing address, we will ship you for free custom handmade templates by professional designers that you can use to make your website.
Wow, what kind of templates are those, Brad?
They are paper templates that you can overlay on top of your screen. You just tell us what size of screen you have and we'll send you a template. Then you draw your website, and that way it's a custom design, because entrepreneurs are creators and they create things that look better than things that aren't created by entrepreneurs.
Wow, that sounds fantastic, but what if I don't have any creativity or design ability?
I thought you would say that just by looking at you. That's where Design Crowded comes in. We will mail you your templates, and then all you have to do is get somebody on Design Crowded to fill them in for you. Then your website will be basically done, design-wise, totally, and then you won't have to, and then you'll have an online presence.
Wow, that's the best online present anyone could ever give.
It really is, James, and that's why I'm giving it to you for a limited time for only $75. Get your 2 free templates today. RectangleGap.com, where entrepreneurs create their online presence. All right, fantastic sponsor again. It just doesn't stop around here, does it?
No, it doesn't. The sponsors are just spawning constantly.
It's amazing. I love it. All right, so we are going to get into these tips. I know you guys are dying to hear it, because you know that since you tuned in today, that your life is going to be changed, maybe even for the better, because that's what I do. I give you my tried and true answers that may change your life even for the better, and turning losers like you into winners like me. All right, so we are getting into an article that this is quite the article. 5 principles of successful entrepreneurship. And you don't want failureful entrepreneurship. That is bad. It's not what you want. So we want successful entrepreneurship. That's what it's all about. That's what winning is all about. And that's what I'm all about. So today we're going to be discussing these 5 principles, and I hope that I've already implemented them. It's changed. Well, my life has always basically been perfect, so it hasn't really changed anything, but it's just improved upon perfection, if you can do that. So gilding that lily, I'm basically a lily, which is gilded. All right, so let's get into these, James. Why don't you kind of give us an idea of where this post came from?
This article today comes from codelit.com. This is based on research originally developed by Professor Saras Saravathi from the University of Virginia's Darden School of Business. And this theory that we're going to be talking about today is called effectual entrepreneurship. So it has 5 principles that we're going to go through. Here's number 1, the bird in hand principle, which states always start with whatever resources you have on hand to begin with.
Okay, first of all, just have to say, obviously this is some heady stuff. Like, it's coming from a college, and they only let smart people at colleges who know stuff. But the research was done there, but it's actually, from what I understand, I believe this research was based off of most of my books. So they did the research for this theory on my books, and that's where this came from. So you're getting good stuff. All right, so this first principle, the bird in hand, I love this. This is so good, and I like that they gave it a catchy title. That's a good thing, that they kind of pulled that out there. It's kind of clickbaity. I like the clickbait feel of it. If I had a clickbait headline, it'd be something like, "Your bird is going to explode once you see this image of having it in my hand," or something like that. They would really just draw people in and make them be like, "Whoa, I need to read this." Okay, so bird in hand principle. You use what what is around you. Okay, so with me, it's my innate winningness that I had inside of me, and I was just like, why wouldn't I use this to make myself money and to make myself even better than I am? And that's what I did, and it's worked amazingly, so amazingly. So the bird in hand concept, it's great. Do it. I agree.
I think an important aspect of this bird in hand principle is recognizing the resource that the people around you are, and how you can use and kind of manipulate them to get what you need to done, and just kind of tapping into what people have already done and using their success as kind of a segue into creating more success for yourself, wouldn't you say?
Well, I like to give my clients, when they're asking me, okay, how do I get ahead? I always say, don't step on somebody's shoulders, because nobody wants footprints on their shirt. But what you want to do is step on their neck instead. That really, it'll elevate you better. It's a more solid place to stand than someone's shoulders, and it keeps their shirt clean. So I'd say definitely, yeah, you want to build on things and step on people's necks as you go. And I don't know, using the word manipulate, I feel like that's a bit of a strong word. I prefer to use the word use instead. You just use people. Don't manipulate them. Just use them. That's more what a good entrepreneur would do, like me. So that is principle number 1 for successful entrepreneurship. Remember that the key word there is ship. Okay, so this is putting the wind in your sail. These tips, these principles are the wind in your sails to carry you to success land and winning world,
and to greater sales.
Exactly. And it's like a total metaphor thing, where there's success is a ship and there's sails that get wind and they're sails. I mean, it's pretty awesome. All right.
The next principle is called the affordable loss principle. It's about guiding your actions when things are uncertain, always taking the path that causes the least loss in case things don't turn out as you expect.
Okay, so I think they misinterpreted some of my my writings, all right, and the development of my writings. So I would say, instead of the principle of acceptable loss or affordable loss, I'd say the principle of all the chips in, like all in. Okay, so that's the principle you really want to focus on here. Is not affordable loss. You want to say all in, because if you're not all in, I don't care if you're all anything. Like, I don't care if you're anything if you're not all in, okay? See what I'm saying there?
Yeah, I think it's more about disregarding the possibility that loss is even an option. So you go in 100%, 110%, 150. You choose the number, you do it. Forget about losing. Losing is not available to entrepreneurs.
Exactly. And any entrepreneur who tells you differently is either selling you something or they're lying. Okay, so that's just what it boils down to. I can't have that kind of mantra spewed about. It's spewing and it's not right. So keep that in mind as we're going forward here, that there's no such thing as affordable loss, because if you lose something, you can't afford it. Like, that's just not, it doesn't work. So, and just put the chips all in. It's either heck yes or nothing. Like, there's no yes. There's just heck yes or no, I'm out. Okay, so don't think about affordable loss. Think about putting all your chips in there. If it's not worth you risking everything, it's not worth you risking anything.
The next principle is called the crazy quilt principle. Successful entrepreneurs don't worry about competition because they know they have no competition.
Okay, so this is so good. This is so good. I'm so glad they pulled this out there for you guys to hear more of my words of wisdom. This is so true that if you don't have competition, okay, that's what is called niching, okay? Niching. That's a word, and it means that you don't just okay, so Walmart is selling Walmart stuff. You don't go, okay, I'm going to try and sell Walmart stuff. No, you find your stuff. Okay, so for Brad Johnson, I found the Brad Johnson stuff that I was going to sell, and it's worked amazingly, because I found my niche, and my niche needed me. There was a need in the niche, and I met it.
Now at the bottom of this section, they have something that it talks about helping out and getting help. Now I think they got half of that right, where that's why this show exists, is to help losers. But the second half about getting help, that doesn't add up.
No, you're so right. It really doesn't. If you need help, you're doing something wrong. Okay, so if you're doing things right, if you're winning, then you don't need help. Okay, it's just that simple. I don't know why people don't understand that. So, just totally cross out that sentence and erase it from your memory and your mind. Rip out your heart and rip it out of your heart, because that shouldn't be there.
All right, our last principle from this article is called the lemonade principle. It's all about how entrepreneurship can be kind of a roller coaster of positive and negative emotions and situations, and making the best of whatever is put in front of you.
Okay, I think I think they've totally misinterpreted my writings. Like, this is, whoever's doing this research needs to be fired. I wonder if they've changed the policy at colleges and they're allowing non-intelligent people in now. Like, because before the policy was that they didn't allow that, and they must have changed that policy, because this is a travesty. This is just wrong. Okay.
Yeah, because when I was at college, it was just smart people. That was all that was there.
Yeah, I mean, and doing online college, when I was just online, it was just me, and there was only smart people in the room. It was amazing. But anyway, so yes, this is totally wrong. Okay, so this is the lemonade principle, making if life gives you lemons, whatever your situation is, be happy, blah 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 blah. No, okay, if life gives you lemons, like, you pick those things up and you throw them back in life's face, and you say, no, I do not want lemons, okay? They may prevent scurvy, they may be high in vitamin C, they may be delicious when mixed with water and sugar, but I don't want them, okay? I don't want them, okay? You just throw them back in life's face and you say, I want, and then you fill in the blank, okay? So for me, it was, I want guava, okay? Guava is... the health benefits of guava. I could go on and on and on, okay? So... whatever it is that you want, whatever kind of fruit it is that you really feel that your life is missing, I want you to just throw those lemons back in life's face and say, I want my fruit, okay?
Entrepreneurship isn't a ration line. Entrepreneurship is a buffet. You walk in, you say, I want that, you go get it. Boom, you have it. Just that simple. You don't want lemons, you don't get lemons. Nobody's handing you anything. You go and get exactly what you want, and that's what you're gonna have.
So true. So true. Okay, so that is the key principle here. Winners. We are winners here, okay? No losers here besides the audience. Just winners, though, for me. And me, I am a winner. So only winners here. And if you are a loser, then, you take what you get given. And that's what you got. But winners take what they want, and they get it because they took it, okay? So that's what I do, and that's what I'm trying to teach you to do. It's really hard, but I'm up to the task because I'm always up to the task. So, you guys, your success is dependent on you actually taking what I say and doing something with it. So I've just given you these 5 principles of entrepreneurship, okay? So if you're not an entrepreneur right now, I would just say this one thing to you. What are you doing with your life? Entrepreneurship is the way to go. Like I said, all the chips on the table. It's either heck yes or no yes. Don't not do it. If you're ready to go, then it's time, okay? So entrepreneurship, the sales, get the sales, and then the ship, and put the sails up, and then as the wind blows into them, you will move forward as you make the sails, and they'll push you forward when the wind hits them. And that's what entrepreneurship is all about. With this information, I'm putting the wind in your sails. You're welcome. So now it's time for the sound of my social footprint. This is where I read what you guys had to say about what I had to say, and say what I have to say about that. All right, James, let's get into the social medium, and talk about what people were talking about, what I was talking about, because that's very interesting.
Absolutely. So our first tweet comes from Brad Johnson.
Yo, man, what a great name.
A slight bit of plagiarism there, but we'll let it slide.
Well, you know what I always say, that imitation is the best form of flattery, and flattery is a huge part of being an entrepreneur, so shout out to that guy.
Brad Johnson says, I do what I can.
Yeah, we Brad Johnsons, we do what we can, and believe me, that is plenty.
Our next tweet comes from Lewis Howes, who says, thanks for sharing.
Hey, our man Lewis Howes, the ripped entrepreneur that everybody knows and loves, thanks thanks for thanking me. Okay, that's what I want to say.
This next tweet comes from Jassy David, who says, "Happens? Haha, I feel that man."
Oh, okay. Totally. I remember this thread here. He was talking about somebody retweeted themselves, and he was like, "What? You retweet yourself?" And I was like, "Dude, sometimes it happens, okay? Because like there's so much awesomeness, and it's just like I gotta retweet this. Like I just posted a tweet, and I have to retweet it because it's just that good, okay? So yeah, it happens. Yeah, you feel that, man."
Our last one comes from Instagram from David and Dana, who say, "Great stuff, Brad Johnson Show. Take a look at our profile when you get a chance. If you like it, shoot me a follow." Going out on a limb a little bit there, but nice thought.
Yeah, it's a lot to ask. I mean, you know how many follow requests I get every day, like people wanting me to follow their account? I mean, just everybody wants me to follow them because they want to get my perspective on things. So, appreciate the shout out, appreciate the love there on social media, because we are really posting great content. It's amazing. Like it's so good. So make sure to follow us on all the social mediums. We are there, and we are changing lives every day. So make sure to follow, and remember, the best way to get your comment or question heard is through the iTunes, which is a social medium that most people don't know much about. So go to iTunes, you can post your comment, question, all that sort of thing there. So make it happen. Would love to hear from you. All right, so now it's time for the quote of the day. And today, I'm keeping you hopped up on serious wisdom truth bombs. Hashtag wisdom truth bombs. Okay, because this quote is from me. I keynoted at this latest conference because I'm always keynoting, and that's another one of the keys to entrepreneurial success. There's outsourcing, there's winning, and there's keynoting. It's all about the keys to open that door that you put your foot in. Okay, so my quote from myself. Just really let this sink in. Let it sink in. Entrepreneurs like me don't just do stuff. We put the win in your sails. What a fantastic quote, if I do say so myself. Thank you guys so much for listening. Remember to share the podcast with one of your loser friends. Help them get on the path to winning like me. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Ciao.
Thanks for listening to The Brad Johnson Show, where every episode we bring you tips, tricks, interviews, advice, and answers to fix the mess that is your life, while helping you stop being a loser and start winning in business, health, and your personal life. Show us your face, tweet us your tweets, and Insta your grams at Brad Johnson Show. The Brad Johnson Show. Winners only.